All right, I'd like to call the Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Department meeting for January 15th, 2025 to order at 5:32 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Ms. Betzauer is absent. Mr. Keel?
Here.
Mr. Deutmeyer?
Here.
Mr. Austin is absent. Mr. Mungy?
He's online.
He's online. Mr. Conley?
Here.
Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Heineck is present.
Thank you. Being that we do not have a quorum today with Ms. Betzauer being absent, we will be deferring the election of officers. There will actually be no action taken on any items today, so this will be more or less just update slash work session type of a meeting. So first two items, would this be a deferral?
Can't they have a meeting? They got two.
Yeah. Has
Well, I
taken
can't.
his oath and everything? Is he sworn in?
Okay, so we can, yeah, you are sworn in, right?
You can have
And
a
obviously
Okay, so we can't have the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, you only need two of the three.
Okay. So then we just won't be able to do the election of officers, or probably not wise?
It'd probably be easier to do it with Heather here.
Okay, so then we can do action, and then we would just, Mr. Hojek would be the one that would make the motion, since I can't make motions, just so we're clear.
Yeah, as long as he has signed his oath and all of that stuff, then, yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right, so I'd be looking for a motion to defer, election of officers, item 1, chairman, to the next meeting.
All right, I'll make that motion. We'll defer the election of officers to the next meeting, which is February 15th, no.
That would be February 19th. All right, we have a motion, I will second that, to defer this to the February 19th meeting. Roll call?
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 2-0. Item number 2, looking for the same motion?
Yeah, we're gonna defer this until the, I'll make a motion, we'll defer this until the February 19th meeting.
All right, I will second that. Roll call, please?
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 2-0. All right, moving on to item number 1, 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's. Do we have an update on that yet? What's going on with Plan Commission? Or, I mean, I know it's down. I know that they were getting approvals, but I didn't know if they were on the agenda tonight. Do we know?
Okay. Did they get approved last meeting?
I don't remember if they did or not.
They are not on tonight's agenda.
They got the preliminary plat approved and the site.
So then this should be just recommended to remove then, right?
Yeah, either removal or update, however you want to handle it.
Well, I would think that if it's got their preliminary approval, it should just be removed from the thing, since, the building is down, they do have the fence up, and then they do have preliminary site plan approval. So there's, yeah, so it would, everything moving forward now would be within the building department. Okay, so I'd be looking for a motion to remove this from the agenda.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, we remove the, from the unsafe building, it's 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's Bar and Grill.
I will second that. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 2-0. Item number 2, 14714 Dewey Street, Urban James Linden.
Yes.
Name and address for the record, please.
Urban James Linden, 14714 Dewey Street.
Okay, let me get you pulled up here. All right, Mr. Linden, what update do you have for us today?
Well, it's not what I'd call good news. I have found so much wrong with that building. It's gonna be a major project to fix this. And I would like to find, someone that would like to buy the property and take care of it. And in order to do that, I'd like to meet with someone from your group find out who I could talk to. Well, from time to time, I get either in the mailbox or on my door a note from people that say they do that type of thing. Well, I would like for this group to understand what condition that building is in, and I would like to see it, not, repaired wouldn't be the right word, it needs to be replaced. So, I don't want to waste a lot of time in this meeting with the details from it. But is there someone in your group I could talk to so you guys understand exactly what condition that building is in?
Well, Tony, I know you've been out there, I don't think you've been, in detail as far as like all the specifics on anything structural wise.
Right. Mr. Linden, you want to make sure that no one buys it and tries to use it as is that
Yes,
kind of
I don't
area?
want
Okay.
any of these problems to get passed on to somebody in an unexpected way. I would like to see, well, I'd like to do something to get this property sold to someone that wants to fix it and fix it right, not cover it up.
If we get a look at it, take some pictures of what he's talking about, at least if someone buys it and starts blasting away on it on the weekends and covers everything up, we know what was there. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as far as this board advising you on which route to go, which company to use, I don't think we really should be able to do that. That would just be on your due diligence on finding a company that you'd feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I'd like for the board to understand what condition this is in, so nobody can pull anything.
Well, they wouldn't be able to anyway, because even if you sell it, the property itself is on the unsafe list. So if you were to sell the parcel, whoever you sold it to would have
I don't want to sell it to an individual.
Well, I'm just saying
I
whoever,
want to sell it to someone
yeah,
that's in the business of fixing something like this.
yeah. And they would be required the same as everyone on this list to attend the monthly meetings.
But whatever someone does to it, I want the board to understand what condition it was in.
Yeah.
So nobody can do something like cover up the problem.
Well, it would not, that would not happen, I should say, because the building department is, and Tony Gatto is fully aware of, the whole situation with the structure.
It's just unbelievable what
Yeah.
was done when they built this place. The only real way to fix it would be to take it down to the foundation. And even the foundation is at 3 different levels. I mean, it makes no sense. Part of the building is 8-foot ceilings. Part of the building is, 8-foot walls. Part of it's 7-foot walls. Other parts, there's a really big project here. It has to be done as a project, makes sense out of it. You could make a very nice house out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd just be wasting money patching up the obvious problems. I've been there since 1977, and until just recently, I had no idea how that thing was put together and why there were constantly problems with it. It's unbelievable what they did.
Well, not to take up too much time then, Tony, what would your suggestion be moving forward for Mr. Linden as far as from the building department?
I mean, if he's gonna put it up for sale, he's gonna put it up for sale. My only request would be that whoever buys it is made know that this is a thing.
I mean, that would come from full disclosure from you, or your agent or whoever you decided to sell it through.
Oh, in the last meeting, you filled out the paperwork, so and someone was hoping it would make it possible for instead of my permit expiring today, we could extend the permit. The permit is set up to not to expire until tomorrow. And I need a lot more time to get things out of the building.
You won't need a permit for that.
No, because that permit was just a demo remodel, I believe, so you wouldn't need a permit for that. But now, just so we're clear, that doesn't mean that now you'd be able to go in there and start tearing stuff apart. You can clean the stuff out, but no type of demo to expose any more of the structure, because then you would have to actually get the demo
There's
permit.
probably enough exposed now that I can show people.
Yeah, so that permit expiring has nothing to do with that, other than, you're clear that you cannot do any type of demo work.
Well, Also, this house has a basement, and with weather like this, I'm keeping heat in the basement to stop very bad things from happening, like,
Pipes freezing and whatnot.
well, it's beyond pipes freezing. Right, we're at this point now to where we can't have the sump pump and that system freezing up,
Mm-hmm.
where you end up with a whole lot of water in the basement, and then that could freeze and destroy the basement.
Yes, it could.
Along with other things.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you just start your process of selling, putting it on the market or whatever you have to do to get out there. But like I said, we can't recommend any company to you or anything like that other than, just do your due diligence on who you're gonna list it through or sell it to. And so other than that,
Yeah, I want someone to buy it with the full understanding what condition it's in, and the idea that it's going to be fixed and fixed right.
yeah, and that's where that responsibility comes on you, if I'm correct, Mr. Duke.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna point out, is the statute requires him to disclose to purchasers that the property is on the unsafe building list and before the unsafe building commission.
Yeah, so that's nothing to do with us other than that's on the seller or the current property owner.
Yeah, well, I want to do that.
And I believe it's
don't
5
want
days
this to
after the
continue.
sale that he has to notify us of who the
Who the new owner is.
new owner would be, so. Yeah, so you can.
What do we do about these meetings? And do I have to come to each monthly meeting
Until we come to an agreement on, like, if you have, if it's listed through whatever real estate company or, one of those, like you said, the papers that, that you get in the mail, that we buy houses, and
Yeah,
stuff
we
like
buy
that.
houses, we take
What
care
we
of
want,
everything.
what we want here is, as the Unsafe Board, is communication throughout the process. We understand that, some may sell quick, some may be on the list for months. But I received all my updates today from 2 other individuals on the list, as far as the number of showings they've had for December, how many are listed for January already. Still no set thing. One of the other ones has been sold, so they keep us informed as the process goes on. But other than that, yes, you will still have to attend meetings, just for updates. I don't know, Tony, would you say, as far as monthly, I need to know monthly as far as the status on it, but I don't know as far as Mr. Linden, what's your thoughts with you getting over there or not even bothering going over there, just to have him just to list it?
I could take a look just to get an idea of what's going on, but, I mean, if he lists it, when was the last time Mr. Cagnino or Ms. Herrera was here?
Yeah.
So, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, and they are on monthly, status updates on the parcels.
Yeah, right, yeah, same thing, for sure.
And those are different case scenarios right now, because those are under demo order, and I don't believe, yours is not at that stage yet. So, and unless we were to do that, and then that's for 2 years, I believe, and then if we had that, then I would say no, but right at this point, if you're willing on, putting it up to market, hopefully to get somebody in here to fix it, tear it down, rebuild it, whatever that may be, until we get to that point, you're gonna have to come to the meetings, because the last thing I think this board wants to do is do a demo order on it and incur expenses on it and, moving forward. I don't know if you think that's the right path.
Yeah, we haven't even run title on it, so.
And that comes at an expense for us.
You can sell it.
If he can sell it and find somebody that's willing to hit the ground running and fix it, I mean,
I can't imagine.
Everybody wins.
Wanting to start this project at this time of the year.
I completely agree, but we all understand that it takes a while too to get things listed, get people looked at, closing dates and all that other stuff, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say that, I think at this point, you understanding the condition of the property, understanding it would be your responsibility, to notify the new owner, whoever that may be, that falls on you to notify that they have to come here, the condition of the property, that we would, I'd be looking for a motion to defer this to the February 19th meeting.
Absolutely. You good with that, sir?
So I get to come to monthly meetings?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can have an update, you can fill us in, you know, on whoever you're, you know, deciding to list a property with or whatever. Tony can give us an update at that time too of what he's noticed, you know, maybe to help you out so you can inform the potential buyer, you know, what they're getting into. So if,
Okay, all right, I'd like to make a motion that we're gonna defer this to the next meeting in February on the 19th. It's 147-14 Dewey Street.
all right, I will second that. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Wojtek?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 2-0. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to 13333 Lamore Street, Vogel. Name and address for the record.
David McLean, 13333 Moore Street.
All right. I understand that you are one of the new owners?
Yes. Yeah, we just bought it, January 2nd. I was unaware that it was on the Unsafe meeting. I just so happened to be in the town, and Tony's like, hey, by the way, you're gonna wanna show up.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so, I don't know anything about where it's at, what's been going on. I have been, I don't wanna say misled, but they left out all the details when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know anything that's going on, where you guys are. I already have plans, I've been talking with Don's Foundation. We're coming up with ideas what we're gonna do with it. We obviously can't do anything until the spring, as far as that goes, but we're gonna fix it.
Yeah. And Tony made me aware, you know, when you came in, that, you know, of course you were not notified. I would imagine, did he receive the unsafe report on this, or?
No.
I mean, I'm sure you all know what the condition of the building is.
Yeah, I mean, I know, yeah.
You know, but, can we get a copy to him?
Yeah, I'm sure we can get a copy too.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Cheryl, you can email that copy, or?
I can, I just need your email address.
Okay,
Here.
Yeah, you can share it with her after you're off of here.
okay.
So I would think that once you get that report, you can see, you know, what was, you know, the building department's findings on it and stuff like that, what their concerns are with it, you know, whether it would be, you know, the foundation repaired, fixed, the upstairs, what would be required to, you know, fire separation, all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
there's no egress windows in the bedrooms, I mean, I know.
Yeah, so you know
I'm a general contractor as well.
Exactly.
So I know pretty much what it needs,
yeah,
I think.
He's gonna need more than just there.
that was just my thoughts. I'm thinking, yeah,
Spring?
I'm gonna, I guess, ask the building department on this too. So I guess this would be for, Mr. Conley, or, timing on deferral, do you or Tony feel that 60 or 90? I mean, I know springtime, you know, is a ways away, and he can't do anything now, but in the meantime, I think all that planning, discussing stuff with, Mr. Conley, who is our new planning director and stuff like that, you know, in the building department, whatever you guys come up with, plan moving forward, I feel that, you know, personally, 90 days may be the time, just knowing what the timing it takes to get stuff done.
Yeah, to come back every month and be like, well, we're not doing anything yet.
Yeah.
You obviously know what needs to be done, and you
Yeah.
come up with your plans, so.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I wanna do it as fast as possible also, because I don't need the thing sitting there doing nothing,
Mhm.
you know. it's
yep, yeah.
Losing money at that point.
So, you're good with 90 days?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I guess I'd be looking for a motion for, we got a date on that meeting?
April 16th.
April 16th, thank you.
All right, I'd like to defer the, property at 133 Lamore Street for a 90-day referral to the April meeting.
All right, I will second that, deferral to the April 16th meeting. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Wojtek?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 2-0. And then, if you can just, you know, write down your email, hand it to Cheryl, and that way she can forward you the unsafe, report that was, you know, done.
Okay.
The other thing too is if you can kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah, oh,
breaking
yeah.
windows, any kids getting in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all locked up, as long as nobody busted a window.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
all right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let me get down here. Great, item number 4, 8705 West 132nd Place, Kubiak Properties Incorporated.
Good evening, Tim Kupiec, 9080 West 129th Place, Cedar Lake.
All right, what do we have?
We have a machine sitting there ready to tear down the house. I've been waiting patiently for 6 weeks for NIPSCO to unhook the power from the house. It's like watching a 5-gallon bucket of paint dry. It's not like watching paint dry, but a dumpster's actually being dropped off in the morning because they told me that it should be disconnected by Thursday. I'll believe when I see it.
How long was your permit? Was it a 60-day demo permit on that?
Permit was a 60-day demo permit, which specifically lists 1/19/25 as the 60 days is up on the 19th, which today is the 15th.
Yeah.
So if they really do unhook the power Thursday, I'll have it tough, but.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to rely on that, on it expiring and then, so I would say this would just be a direction, well, to extend a building permit for another 30 days?
Well, the permit is good for 1 year because it included.
The demo permit?
No, it included the demo and the rebuilding, but it was a specifically demo for 60 days, you know, it had 60 days to demo like you guys ordered, so it was a 1-year permit given, which expires on 12/whatever/26, but the demo must have been completed by 1/19, which was 60 days. So, it's gonna be close, but I'm waiting for, like I said, the machine's been sitting there for 2 weeks now, waiting, so I can't do.
Right, right. And I don't want to rely on, you know, NIPSCO doing that and the permit expiring. You know, I would rather just make sure that it's clear and on the record that,
It's gonna be at least partially down by the 19th, I would say for sure, the action is gonna be started, but if we
Well,
get an extra week.
if things went smooth and you got it done, I would think that, and Mr. Dittmeyer, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, that we can make the, direction to the building department to issue another 30-day permit, for demo if it is not down by the 19th.
Or to just extend the initial permit. without an additional
Extend the
permit.
initial permit.
It's not a different permit, though, that's what he's saying. I think if you just make the direction that you're extending the demo deadline, then...
The demo deadline,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we have to make a motion on that.
Right, so that would just be in the form of a motion to
Yeah, the
extend
same way you guys are...
the demo deadline,
So it'll be 2/19,
2/19.
that'll be 1 month.
Well, technically, it would be the day after the meeting, right? Is that how those have been falling?
That's how we've been doing it, but I think the meeting in February is 2/16? Or no, it's 2/19, you're right.
Yeah, you're-
2/19, so we'll do 2/20?
220?
Well, the original approval, or the original agreement was that we had 60 days from the time of picking up the permit. So the permit was picked up on 11/19, which made it 1/19, you know, that's how.
So then it's not,
That's how the 60 days started. The permit was secured on 11/19, so that 60 days was 1/19. You know, I mean, that was kind of the, even though
yeah, so I'm still thinking that it's gonna be an
Either way, it
extension.
doesn't matter.
We'll make the extension to, if need be, to 2/20 of 2025.
Go ahead and make a motion.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion, we'll extend the demolition permit till 2/20/25 at 8705 West 132 Place.
All right, I will second that. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Wojtek?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, motion carries 2-0. Moving on to item number 5, 12611 Klein Avenue, Kubiak Properties Incorporated.
Yes, Tim Kubiak again, 9080 West 129th Place, Cedar Lake. We're in the same boat. The electric service is installed, inspected, released to NIPSCO. been applied for NIPSCO for 6 weeks now also, and I actually met the engineer out there getting the service in to make sure everything was good, everything was on the same page, had a plan, but just getting this initial ball rolling on getting the service out there is, I mean, they tell me I'm on the fast track, you're on the service, and there's zero progress on actually getting the power out there, other than the service being up. The service is on. The engineer told me absolutely everything was cool, we had a game plan of what to do, where to put it, everything was good, but it's just going through that waiting game of the process, so I don't know when or how or what. I talked to her today about both of them projects, and she contacted both of the engineers that these were assigned to, and the guy told me that Thursday the one was supposed to be to. I heard nothing about this one as of yet.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming, like I said, as soon as they process their paperwork, the release from the town is already there, the service is ready to hook up, it's just a matter of getting to that point. So, once that's there, we'll put the lights and I was trying to wait on getting the power out there to get the lights on and get everything done, so I get somebody out there to make sure, get it done. It's not that big of a project, but I wanted the power to be on site, ready to go, so that way we can get it done. But just so we're there and
You can't do anything unless you're waiting on them.
yeah, it is what, I don't know what to say, but there's no expediency. And it comes through the commercial property, is it a residential property, is it a, and I applied for both a commercial and a residential thing just to try to get the ball rolling, and we're waiting,
Yeah.
so.
Well, and it's still secure, of course.
Sure, everything is good, there's been no, I've been keeping an eye on the doors, the thing is still closed, the roof is sealed up, it's good.
So, I definitely don't think there's enough information, just to move it to any type of an update thing, especially with still not having NIPSCO.
Right.
What's your thoughts, on 60? Because I don't think 30 days
Yeah,
could
it's
be.
not his fault.
We could be in the same boat again.
Right, I say 60 days and 90 days, whatever, until they get out there.
Yeah,
It's working.
I feel more than comfortable with 60 days. I can't see NIPSCO being more than, 2 months.
Tony will be aware of where we're at with the process before the next 30-day meeting, obviously for an update, whatever.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep on, it's gotta be happening here shortly.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah. Cheryl, do you have a date on the March meeting?
March 19th.
A lot of 19s lately.
February and March are always the same day.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
All right.
And this is not Tim Kubiak's property, it's Robert Kubiak, right?
Well, that's Kubiak Properties.
Right, but it's not his, I just want that so people don't think.
Yeah, it's Robert and Sylvia Kubiak. I don't even think it's under Robert Kubiak, it's under Kubiak Properties, but.
All right.
All right, I'll make a motion that will defer for 60 days till March 19th meeting, 12611 Klein Avenue.
All right, I will second that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hojek?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 2-0.
While I'm up here, can I talk about that third one or no? Skip.
Yes, I wouldn't have to make a motion to have,
No, just wait. I can wait if that's messing it up.
Mr.
You're
Detmeyer?
talking about the potential unsafe one?
Yes, the potential.
He's already here, it makes sense.
Okay. Item number 1, the potential, I shouldn't have to make a motion to amend that, right? We can
No,
just-
because it's already on the agenda, you're
Okay.
just taking it slightly out of order.
All right.
Tim Kubiak, 9080 West 129th Place. Again, this is Robert and Sylvia Kubiak, my brothers, but, this is actually 13026 Fulton. I don't know where the 16 came from, but the address on the sewer bill and stuff is 13026, so,
Might have been a typo on my part.
maybe, but I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
you
Might
Okay.
be because it's on like 4 separate parcels,
Yeah.
separate addresses.
Yeah, it was a little confusing when I was looking on GIS is what the actual address was.
Yeah, the mailbox out there says 26, the sewer bill says 26, so I'm
And that's what we should go off of.
assuming that's what you call it. But At any rate, that thing is pretty rough shape. I did get a building permit as soon as the person made the complaint next door to demo it, so as soon as, the 132nd house is done, we're going directly over there and tearing that one down, so it'll be off to, I mean, there's nothing there we're salvaging. 10 years ago, seemed like a great idea to remodel it, but after that time has passed, it's just one of those things gotta go, so it's gonna, I mean, like I said, the permit's hanging on a tree there so they can see that it's on the list, and, that's all I got. I mean,
Yeah,
it should be down, I mean, within the next 2 months or month and a half, 2 months. I mean, as soon as this one gets done, the machine's going directly to that site, and that's gonna be done, so.
Yeah, and I think at this time, there's no reason to move it to active unsafe with,
It's up to you guys, but there's already a permit, a demo permit issued, paid for, and posted, so.
Yeah.
Already done.
yeah, so
Whatever you wanna do, but it's just kind of the.
and it'll stay on the agenda as potential, and then we'll know, at the next meeting that you're at,
Yeah, no, absolutely, but.
on an
it's
update.
already being handled, so I think.
Absolutely.
There's no other thing to do with it, so.
Right.
At this point, it needs to go, so. Okay, thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. Right, moving on to item number 6, 14616 Dewey Street, Frick. I do not see Mr. Frick here. Yeah. Did he ever come into the building department, if anybody knows, as far as what the instructions he was supposed to do?
What was he supposed to do?
So, when they were discussing on him being able to demo the house, that it...
Wasn't having any impact on...
He did not have any impact, with the, 6 months that he had to come in with the plans, because there was no restrictions on that lot, since it was, already, big enough, so there was no concern, so he could
Right.
demo it at any time. He wanted to see that in the zoning ordinance, I believe, and was supposed to come in to pick that up, and that's why I was wondering if he ever did.
Not to my knowledge.
There's an envelope on the counter up there that's been there for 2 months, still sitting there.
That's what I,
There you go.
yeah.
That would be the thing.
Cheryl, if you could, probably reach out to Mr. Frick and, email or whatever form of, contact you do with him, and just remind him that there's something still here waiting.
Okay.
So with that said, it would still have to remain active unsafe. I would say, just looking for a motion to defer this to the next month's meeting, which would be February 19th.
February 19th. All right. I'd like to make a motion, it will defer 14616 Dewey Street till the next meeting, which would be February 19th.
All right, I will second that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Keel?
Yes, motion carries 2-0. All right, moving on to potentially unsafe, item number 2, 7605 West 134th Place. I'm actually gonna take care of, number 3 also, the 9110 West 142nd Avenue. This is where we're gonna have some discussion, I believe, and I know with, Heather being absent, in the past, we did issue a letter, for a garage issue, at the 9110 in the past, prior to this being on the unsafe, and that worked out well. They hired somebody to demo it, took care of stuff without the town really being, vested with anything in it as far as time, meetings, and anything like that. So we do have a draft letter. I don't know how much discussion we want to have without Heather being here too. Everybody, I don't know if everybody does have the thing. Ryan, is there anything with being too generic on a letter issuing that, like what we did in the past with the 9110, or that was, just so everybody's clear, that was a different case, because that was an emergency order letter, and this one is more of a, potentially unsafe letter, to come into the building department, and, discuss things, prior to a report actually being done.
This is kind of the attention getter, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, and in discussion with the building department, with Cheryl, that type of conversation, Mr. Connolly, something to where we're not, the building department is not investing too much time in reinventing the wheel every time they issue a letter like this, sort of vague to the sense of, like you said, the attention getter. So, I think if everybody is fine with this, and I don't see why Heather would not be, not that I want to speak for her, but that if we can, possibly get these two parcels kind of inputted into each of their own, one of these letters, so we can review it and then, potentially send it out. I think that would just be with an instruction then.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Does he have a copy of the letter?
Yes, he does, right?
How many times did we send it out? Did we just get one?
Well, so there's so the process was, we need to discuss whether we were gonna do 60 or 90 days on, waiting for a response back. So in the letter it says, in the light of this, the commission has provided you, 60 or 90 days to obtain a building permit and remove the structure. So I would think that our discussion could be remove or repair. The main thing is to get him in here, and discuss, the condition, because, we don't want to be too specific to where every time we're gonna have to reword it for specific parcels.
Right.
If they're on the list, one of these is for a house, one is for a garage, and that's why we wanted to limit it to just a structure, so that covers a broad, thing. What would the building department suggestion or comfortable be with 60 with hearing from someone, or?
I think just to hear from them, yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable to say, we want to hear from you within 60 days.
But I still, yeah, so is it?
Well, it's actually saying you're obtaining a building permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, they're either they're
Contact the
contacting
building
us or
department
they're.
for 60 days.
Permit.
So, I guess my question then would be to, Attorney Duttmeyer on, if this is just a potentially unsafe, is this something that this board then could just decide that we're gonna issue them a letter, and then once we come to, agreement on the exact wording on the letter, we can just issue it? Or do we have to approve this letter as a board?
Are you saying just like a generic letter, or
Yes.
approve it every single time?
Anything on a potential unsafe that is brought to this board's attention, then we would instruct to issue the letter.
Yeah.
But I'm saying with the current, work in progress on the letter, that's of course why it's highlighted. I've been in, like I said, several conversations, with Cheryl and Terry, prior to this meeting on working with, that last letter that your office drafted.
Yeah.
And can we just continue to, I guess, fine tune it?
Yeah,
and
I'd
then
say
and then
it's just like
instruct them?
the situation where, you want Mr. Frick here at the next meeting and you tell Cheryl to reach out to him, right? You don't pre-approve whatever
Right.
language she's putting in that letter, right? It's just, hey, that's the instruction. So I think you guys can workshop this, and, once the form is something that everyone's agreeable to, that goes in the building department's files, and you find, ABC owner, at XYZ address has an issue, just say Cheryl sent a letter, she puts in the address, names, and sends it out.
Great.
Okay. Is that something that, once we come to that, I believe before we send them out, would you like to see them then, or do you feel since it's generic, with this basic structure,
Yeah,
we should be fine?
If we have to fine tune anything here, we can do that in advance, and we don't need to clear every single
Yeah.
letter when they go out. It's probably not a wise use of time.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if we were doing one of those emergency actions, of course, we would definitely seek, attorney review and stuff like that. Okay, so I would think that we'll just move forward with this letter, with just tweaking it and stuff, we'll be in contact, and then, once we're comfortable with it, we'll have them send it out.
Yeah, settle it. It's a great letter. All you need is the days, whatever you want to come up with.
Yeah, okay. All right. We're gonna move on then under permit and demo orders, as I said earlier in the meeting.
Before you move on,
Okay.
Mr. Teal, what are we doing with 7605 and 9110? Are you wanting letters sent? Are you wanting reports prepared? Was it just talking points? Like that part's a little unclear.
Those are the ones that we'd be issuing the letter.
Okay.
So there's gonna be no
reports yet?
reports yet.
We're gonna fine tune the letter?
Until we hear from them.
Once
Yeah,
that's
so,
done, send it out.
because every time we're gonna send Tony out to go and do a full report on everything, it's gonna cost the town, in his time going out and doing stuff and taking away from other jobs and stuff like that, until we try to at least hear from them.
Okay.
Of course, we know that the first time we reached out, to 9110, it worked out great. And so, being hopeful, I'd like to think that we can do it that way again. And so that's the whole intent of the letter, is to not use up any more of the resources of the town until we at least get contact from them. I think that was the understanding we had. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So are you going to ask the property owner to appear?
No, that letter clearly, states that we want them to contact the building department and, go over the issues with the parcel. So right now, what we have are photos, so there's no initial, like structure, looking at anything like that. Tony has sent us, a few images, I believe 3 or 4 of each of these, parcels. So you can get an idea of what it looks like. And so what we're looking for is just more of a communication with them before we just go and just have Tony do the full report and then say, start coming into the meetings. If this is something that they can rectify, prior to getting everybody involved, that would be great moving forward.
Might I offer a suggestion, at least food for thought?
Yeah.
That it's almost unnecessary to put it as potential unsafe. Like, wouldn't it just make more sense if Tony gets a complaint, he goes out and takes pictures, say, oh, it's in bad shape. Like, that's just their automatic, like, boom, send a letter. And then it never gets to you guys until after the letter's been sent and they've ignored it. Because otherwise, it doesn't make a ton of sense for you guys to sit up here and say, hey, it might be unsafe, let's send a letter. Or you're just kind of wasting that 30-day time period or whatever, versus them just automatically sending it out, and then by the time it gets to you, it's the 60 days, the 90 days are gone, they haven't done anything, now it's time for the board to actually do something.
Right, and I think part of the initial thought process on it, when Heather was asking Tony to start looking at the list with the ones that we had concerns about, to start adding some more stuff onto the list. And I don't know if that could turn into a Tony doing nothing but, sending out 10 letters now, and all of a sudden we're swamped with stuff. So I think it was more of a control of, not to say that this board wants the ultimate control over, what's going on these kind of things, but just to limit the amount of those letters that are going out, because, I could potentially see, Tony being busy and writing 10 letters. I don't know if,
Well, part of the intent was also that I don't decide what deserves letter and what doesn't. It's the board.
Yeah, that was a decision also. I believe we discussed that in one of the workshops that day.
Then the only thing I would add is if that's the layer, then moving forward for these potentials, like in the packets, that information should be in there, so the pictures are there or whatever, and you guys have something to look at. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures, but, there's nothing in the packet that I can see unless I'm missing it, for these 2 potentials that would necessarily justify it.
Yeah, and I know I have seen them, and I know it was sent to Heather. I don't think it was sent to Mr. Hojek or not, because of timing with emails and stuff with IT and stuff like that. So are you thinking then that moving forward, it automatically gets put into the packet?
Just so it's here and everybody can look at us here at the meeting and say, hey, we're talking about, 9110, you can scroll through and be like, oh yeah, that's bad, like, we should send a letter.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, okay, and so I guess then, whenever, like these 2, Tony can, get with Cheryl, Cheryl could put it in the packet, and then, like you said, then we know what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's just, makes more sense for the way the meeting operates moving forward. I'm not saying it's, you know, you can't do what you want to do with these. It's just, you know, so we're sitting here, we're all seeing, you guys can all see the same thing. And, you know, hey, the windows are out, or this, that, and the other thing.
Make a decision right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Actually, go look at them tomorrow.
yeah. All right. Under permit demo orders, I did receive information from both of these property owners as far as the listings that, or the amount of showings that they've had. A couple of close ones, not exactly sure any type of closing dates or set offers or anything yet, but they are staying in contact, so these will, you know, still remain, of course, under the demo order, and they are fully aware that, you know, and their communication has been good with me, so I can, you know, relay to the rest of the board. Update items, the 13713 still is listed for sale or lease. The building is still secure. Item number 2, 12901 Hilltop, we did receive email as far as payment. There was a potential that it was going to be $100 a week, but then the email this morning said that I believe that the property owner is going to come in Friday and just pay in full. So we'll hopefully have more of an update on that at the next meeting, that could be removed once that takes place. Number 3, 6599 Fernwood. I guess is this one, that one, can you answer that with as far as what was?
Is this the one that was demoed?
That's the one that was demoed, and I believe you got all the information as far as what was,
Yeah, we got that
the
information. We filed a claim in the estate of Mr. Mogan, so that should be paid out once they go and liquidate the estate. We know the estate has some form of assets because they sold the other Mogan property. We don't know what other, you know, debts or liabilities he had, so we're in line with all the other creditors, if any, in that estate, and we would get paid out before any beneficiaries of that estate would get anything.
okay, so I would imagine, that, of course, all of these would stay on update items until...
Yeah, there's nothing we can do with Mogan until they liquidate the estate.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what other assets he had, or what needs to be liquidated, or whatnot.
And would you like to just, you know, any comments on items number 4 and 5, because that's kind of similar?
Ward and Land Bank Builders, we filed our sworn statements. I got Tony's signature on them right before the holiday. They were filed right before Christmas. I don't remember the exact date. Notices were sent to the property owners and all interested parties. By statute, they have 30 days to object to it. If they don't have an objection to it, or they fail to file one, after the 30 days have run out, then we just ask the court to enter a judgment against them. That's kind of the expedited leaning process under the unsafe building statute. When we've done these in the past, sometimes the judges need a little education on the law because it's not something they see frequently, but have had no issues in the past getting the judgments entered. Then they're just judgment liens against the homes, and they're good for 10 years.
Okay.
I mean, the only complicating factor on 4, as we all know, is the wards, I think, have been deceased for quite some time.
Quite some time.
I believe somebody actually contacted our office again and informed us that both of them had been deceased. So that might be one that would be on the list where you're going to look to foreclose on your lien, because nobody's, to my knowledge, ever opened an estate for the wards, and it doesn't look like they're going to do anything with it.
What would timing look like on that then? What would your suggestion be, you know, if, you know, timing from not hearing anything, which of course we know that they've been deceased for some time, for us to instruct you then to proceed?
Generally, what I tell you is, assuming everything holds true, you could get the judgment entered later this month or early next month. Pursuant to our trial rules, they would theoretically have 30 days to appeal, 30 days from the date of the judgment, which would take you until March. So, you know, probably something we can circle back to in the March meeting and see if anything's happened, which I doubt. But, you know, if nothing's happened, then we can talk about going and foreclosing on the judgment from there. And from there, it's just a simple foreclosure. It would go up to the sheriff's sale and would be sold, and the proceeds would go to pay off the judgment.
Okay, so like basically anything now or February would technically kind of be premature with that, and we're better just to wait till March?
But just so you know, like for, sheriff's sale processes, you'd foreclose on your judgment. We would set the bid amount based upon all our advertising costs and all that stuff. So theoretically, you'd be talking a minimum bid amount somewhere in the neighborhood of ballpark $10,000-$12,000 for the lot. I suspect you would generate some interest.
Yeah, and that would be whatever the demo cost was and everything else?
Yeah, whatever our judgment is, plus all of the expenses from that. If for some reason nobody bid on it, then the town would just bid its judgment. We would then become the owners of the property. You could turn around and sell it, do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And 4 and 5, it's the exact same
Yeah,
property.
exact same thing.
The only difference is Land Bank Builders, as far as we know, is an active entity.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're doing or what's going on, but they theoretically may be more collectible than the wards.
But other than that, it would still be the same process, though?
If you had to foreclose, yes.
All right, item number 6, West 127th Lane, we know that's down. I would ask this, Mr. Kubiak, the bill's been final, or do you know on?
Oh, no, it's not. It's done though. I got to turn it in and give it to Kirsten. It's finished, I just never did it, so.
Okay,
I got it totaled up and finished, I just didn't give it to her. I just was looking at it on the agenda, but it is done, I just gotta give it to her.
okay. All right, and then the 14324 Edison, that's still the other town-owned parcel that, we're kinda just, in limbo at this time. Deferrals, no need to talk about those. Do we have any public comment for unsafe building department?
I had a question for Ryan real quick. on
Okay,
those.
sorry.
Cagnino's, I don't think we ever affirmed the titles, because there was no report on 7105.
They were all done, all the affirmations were done, all the orders have been recorded. We had to kinda do the demo, the report after the fact.
Right.
But it was all done previously because of all of the he was here for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah?
It was just, we didn't have the actual report in the files. So it
Okay.
was merely just kinda cleaning up on the back end.
Okay.
All right, public comment second time? Public comment third time? All right, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned at 6:24 PM. Next meeting, February 19th.